plane proves the flat Earth.
Yes.
Because I was searching for a plane accident that I didn't know what it was all about, and it had to do with this Malaysia airplane disaster. And suddenly I was seeing that, and my wife said, "Did you see this here with the flat Earth, the pilots? And I mean, you flew, you have a license. Did you see the same?"
Yeah.
And I watched it 10 times, and suddenly I had that paradigm shift. This is really how it is. We have no satellites.
Yeah.
Because we have no GPS satellite system. It's all land-based. Because
Yes.
I knew that from my pilot education, that we worked with Lorraine, long-range navigational system.
Yes.
And that is land-based. I know that for a fact. So I called a friend of mine in Germany and said, "Listen, how is that navigation system for ILS actually working?"
Yeah.
He said to me, "Yeah, it's actually antennas in every country. There's so and so many antennas.
Yes.
And they're all strategically built into the landscape.
Yes.
And it works some similar like an NDB, or non-directional bearing.
Yes.
And this is how it works." And I was digging and digging, and then I phoned Quanta.
Yes.
Said, "Hey, listen, when you fly from Ireland or from Argentina to New Zealand, how do you fly?" And it didn't give me a direct answer, but then I got a pilot from Australia on the phone.
Yes.
And he told me, "Yeah, we're flying actually 2 legs." And I said, "Why are you flying 2 legs?" And he said, "Yeah, we fly mostly over the Emirates, because that is the best way. This half the length of the flight."
Yes.
And I said, "Yeah, but that is totally off track." And he said, "Yeah, I don't know either why we are doing this, but we have our what's it called? Our ETOPS. ETOPS is the estimated flying time over open sea.
Yes.
And you cannot extend it over certain hours."
Yes.
It's a little bit complicated to explain why they do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to fly over land. And then I talked to a guy in Denver when I was down in Denver in USA.
Yes.
And we flew together to Sacramento.
Yes.
And I told him this story, and I said, "Yeah, that's a very, very good point. I have a guy who is working for the Navy, or he worked for the Navy. Maybe we ask him." And then it came to pass that we asked him and said, "Yeah, if you really ask me that question, I think that we have a flat water surface." And so it came in rolling. Huh?
Yes, yes.
And more and more and more things I discovered. And then I started talking about this in the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Yes.
And they actually, what can I say? They kicked me out. They said, "You know what? You create so much derision with your flat Earth.
Yeah.
Nobody is interested in this crap.
Yes.
So you know what? We don't like you here. So you better go."
You were disfellowship.
Huh?
They disfellowshipped you from the church because you brought these points.
Yeah, not this fellowship. I decided not that they go that route. I said, "You know what? I honestly like like-minded people, and I honestly like people. They are preaching the word of God.
Yeah.
I like godly people and not religious people. And I have enough anyway here. So you know what? It doesn't hurt me. I go. So please take me off your email list."
Yes.
Because what they were sending to me was anyway nonsense. It had nothing to do with the truth.
Yeah.
And it had just what it's called. They teach now in Seventh-day Adventist churches mostly love and
that's it.
People and,
they shy.
And all.
Yeah, they shy away from even talking about like the harshness of prophecy, and even they don't talk about those things anymore nowadays. Hey.
Yeah, they're not talking about. And I said, "You know what?
They're becoming like all the other churches."
Yeah, they're becoming exactly like the other churches. And said if you read Ellen G. White in A Great Controversy, then you'll see exactly what is going on here, and that it takes place the fulfillment what the Bible actually prophesied from Daniel, and fulfillment in Revelation.
Yes.
And I said, what you're doing here is not talking about the enemy. The enemy is the papacy. That is the beast.
Yes.
And, you're not pointing that out anymore. So I actually had enough too. I said, you know what, I go. My question for you is, we have to get somehow together.
Yes, I agree on that.
Eventually, you trust me to exchange email addresses, because I want to do some experiments with guys.
Yes.
They believe in a flat earth and not ridicule this idea, because all the other stuff is nonsense. The flat earth is the real thing. That is,
exactly.
We have technology today they didn't have 500 years ago, and we can do what is it called? Synchronized in time. We can do an experiment that would probably baffle everybody.
Yes.
My email address, if you have something to write and you trust me, I can give it to you right now.
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab my. Let me just grab something here too that I can write it on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's your email?
My email is at. I worked for Porsche and for BMW.
Oh.
In engine development in Germany. So.
Oh, okay.
So I did what's called to build engine. That is my specialty. But I'm a manufacturing engineer.
Yes.
A mechanical manufacturing engineer.
Yes.
So by trade.
Ah.
My education.
So you know about some fluid mechanics and how pressure and velocity works. Those relationship.
Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Pardon?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And this is where I don't know why I don't hear people talking about this, because you know how we are told that the globe spins at 1,000 miles per hour, and where is the greatest rotation of velocity?
The greatest rotation, or the greatest velocity, is on the equator.
But it's at the surface of the earth, correct?
On the surface of the earth. It's
yes.
1,600 and I think 63 kilometers per hour.
Yes. So here's my question. When we know that the relationship between pressure and velocity are that of an inverse proportion, right?
Yes.
So the higher the pressure, the lower the pressure. I mean, the lower the velocity, or the higher the velocity, then the lower the pressure, correct?
Yeah, that is called. I think it has a relationship to this viscosity.
Yes.
Yes.
So my question then is, if we, and that's where I may be onto something, maybe I'm not. But if we have the greatest velocity or greatest rotation on the surface of the earth, how come atmospheric pressure is greatest on the surface of the earth, but decreases dramatically the higher you rise up in elevation? Right?
It's called pressure altitude.
Pressure altitude?
Yeah, it's pressure altitude. It's for aeroplanes, very important. It has to do with the density of the air.
Yes.
And with the weight of the aeroplane.
Yes.
The higher the weight of the aeroplane, the lower is the pressure density.
Mm-hmm.
If you punch in pressure density in the computer, search and relate that to an aircraft, then you will see what I mean. It's called pressure density.
Oh yeah.
Everything has a density and a weight.
Yes.
If you have, for example, a heavy body in a fluid, what has lesser density as this body fluid weight is, it will drop down to the ground.
Yes.
If the weight of this body is lighter than the density pressure, then it floats. It has a buoyancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then, does it sound logical then when we observe the whole globe model that spins when at that kind of a rotational speed, at that extremely high speed, technically speaking,
you create not only this high speed you cannot withstand, because the wind is, or the air, the atmosphere
Yes.
is not connected to this chain.
Exactly.
and
It's not.
welded to the earth.
It's not.